move in another front, and out ahead of that we're getting a little bit of moisture. By tomorrow morning there could be a couple sprinkles in there, but most areas will stay dry, especially with these lower dew points during the overnight. 62, again you can see those temperatures there cooling off. Let's show you tomorrow morning starting the day, 40s, and notice just a small chance of a shower. Much calmer weather conditions therefore early in the day. By the afternoon we'll see those temperatures starting to rise into the 60s there later in the day. But again, a live look from Brookwood Baptist Medical Center, 65 right now. This time tomorrow we'll probably have temperatures about 3 to 4 degrees lower in many spots. And this weekend could see a little bit of frost out there Saturday night and into Sunday morning. But if you capture some of those nice sunset views, it is a sunset alert right now. You can share those with us on the First Alert Weather app. But we're just getting started. We've got more to come right here. We're going to take you back to New Orleans where that tornado happened. We're also going to talk about what's happening beyond the 7-day forecast and basically towards the end of the 7-day forecast, that weather situation next week when we could see our next big chance of rain and storms. And with the tornado in New Orleans, a lot of talk about multi-vortex tornado. What's that all about? We'll show you coming up next in First Alert Weather Extra.
Getting live breaking news and local updates has never been easier. That's because we're on your side with the WBRC streaming app. Need updates between newscasts? You can catch up quick here. And when we're live on TV, we're live here too, giving you more ways to get caught up with everything happening where you live. Plus exclusive videos from your First Alert weather team. It's easy to use and it's free. Just search WBRC on your Roku, Amazon Fire, or Apple TV. WBRC Fox 6 News is on your side.
Every morning on Good Day Alabama, we're on your side, trying to get you where you're going safely. First Alert Traffic updates you on slowdowns and gives you alternate routes. Having more reporters covering the roads you drive on gives you even more info to help you know more about why it happened and when it will be cleared. On air, online, and on the app. That's the advantage of having the most reporters on your side. That's the advantage of Good Day Alabama.
Our lives revolve around planning for what's next, like the next ball game.
One hot dog with ketchup? It's the same with weather. That's why we're on your side with the next big thing, the next 60, and the next 24. Knowing what's next, days, hours, or minutes away.
This is why we First Alert. Who puts ketchup on a hot dog?
I get calls and emails all the time from people wanting to know how cities, counties, and the state are spending their tax dollars. I'm Jennifer Horton, and I investigate how your tax dollars are being used because I don't want your money or mine wasted or fraudulently spent by politicians in power. That's why WBRC Fox 6 News investigates. We're on your side, following the paper trail, asking the tough questions, and giving you the facts. Contact us when you need a team on your side.
Get First Alert weather and breaking news. Follow us on Twitter. Search at WBRC News.
And now we want to take you back to New Orleans. Fox 8 with a report on some of the impacts as we continue to see more, learn more after that EF3 tornado that struck New Orleans.
Breaks my heart. This is my baby.
Linda Catalanato surveys the damage to her business, the old Araby marketplace.
The building shifted, the walls are collapsing, the ceiling, the roof collapsed. Everything in it's a total loss. Significant damage, kind of reminds you of Katrina.
For many, the destruction from Tuesday night's tornado is heartbreaking, even more so for Linda.
I just lost my husband. He passed away 3 weeks ago. And I can't believe the Lord has done this to give me this much on my plate. But He doesn't give you more than you can handle. So I'm going to get through it. I'm going to get through it.
Across the street, members of the Faith World Assembly Church in disbelief. Lita Pagan says Tuesday night's service was canceled due to the strong storms.
I'm just grateful that we weren't here last night. So we just thank God that there was no fatalities.
Pieces of people's lives are scattered on the streets here in Old Arabi following last night's storm. Many say they haven't seen destruction like this since Hurricane Katrina. A few doors down, signs of a home that has survived yet another disaster. Timothy O'Neill says it was a scary night.
Not a good 10 seconds. It felt like an hour, but probably only 10 seconds.
He says the damage on Friscoville Avenue is something he has never seen before, calling it catastrophic.
I take hurricanes every day. This is something completely different.
Through the chaos, there is hope. Help is on the way.
It's amazing. You know, we've got people I've never met before in my life. Just showed up with shovels and brooms, and everybody's pitching in. It truly reminds you of Katrina.
A reminder that Old Arabi has been through this before, and they'll come back again. Reporting, Olivia Vidal, Fox 8, Local First.
And Wes, we've been seeing a lot of this video, and there's been a lot of chatter about how some houses are fine, and then the house next door to it is completely demolished, and it all has to do with it being a multi-vortex tornado. You can kind of see those individual vortices spinning around, revolving around it. What we don't see sometimes is what's in the condensation funnel, and there could be multiple different vortices within that. So it's like mini tornadoes within a big tornado.
Yeah, you see that a lot of times, Jill. Multi-vortex, that's been popping up a lot. But with a lot of tornadoes, that's what you have, multiple vortices. We saw that April 27, 2011 in Tuscaloosa. You remember when the tornado was moving over the city, you could see those little condensation funnels. That's what you're looking at. We call that the condensation funnel cloud. And it's not necessarily a tornado until it's in contact with the ground. So, yeah, you're right, Jill. Inside of these things, you've got, it's a violent column of rotating air, and you got multiple vortexes. In fact, I remember years ago there was a lot of research when Hurricane Andrew made landfall on the Florida Peninsula. They actually, you could see from some satellite data where there were multiple vortexes around the eye of Andrew, little vortexes like that.
And you really will see it once you look at the damage. So you can sometimes see some of those vortices spinning around the parent tornado. It's almost like it's dancing, and where it's going across, it is completely demolishing that area, but sometimes they're really narrow compared to the actual, condensation funnel. They could be a small little path creating a lot of destruction. So that's why there can be such variability from one side of the street to the other side of the street. And whenever we hear about a multi-vortex tornado, you know that it's going to be a very powerful one. Those winds are very intense, and as we learned, EF3 damage.
Yeah, just fascinating to watch. You see these things when they form. Sometimes we've had those occasions where you see a tornado developing on a camera live on television, and you just watch it all just kind of come together. You'll start to see these swirls, these eddies that develop. By the way, this tornado, the strongest on record to strike New Orleans with winds up to 160 miles per hour, EF3. Jill, this is another example that tornadoes do strike cities.
They can strike anywhere, and eventually we'll be talking about one day a little bit more about the myths involving tornadoes. We learned, almost a year ago, that down in Pelham, the mountainous terrain, we had the big destructive tornado there. They don't just skip over, different things. Sometimes they do lift, and it might happen to be as it gets towards a river, but we saw it go right over that lake there. I mean, it just went right over that body of water and actually strengthened a little bit. And so again, there's really nothing that's stopping a tornado.
Yeah, especially, something that like a EF3, one of those upper end tornadoes. We've seen mountains and we've seen cities and these things move through, but just some incredible video coming in there around New Orleans. I mean, the close-ups of that, of course, if you're ever in a tornado warning, you hear Jill and I say tornado warning, that's a time. Don't try to look for it. I know we show a lot of these pictures and stuff, but we want you safe. We want you getting to that safe spot in those situations. Sadly, Jill, around here locally, we've had a lot of fatalities from, I know you think tornado warning, that's the one thing that pops up when you think severe weather. We've had 4 fatalities related to flooding here in 2 weeks. I just wanted to note that that's something else, so that with this powerful storm system here, flooding for us, that's been the big story.
Yeah, and that's been the widespread impact that we stress, but of course we kind of just focus, as we've been mentioning, more on that tornado threat. But again, we have seen many times down here, things are going to flood, and that's the more widespread impact. And unfortunately, that does cause more fatalities a year across the United States than do tornadoes. So again, it is up there on the scale. Heat is number one. Then it's flooding, flash flooding. Again, you really have to be mindful and adjust your plans if you can, so you're not potentially caught in a situation like that. And something we're going to be talking about here very soon in the next block is going to be that next system, and that could bring some heavy rain. But of course, Wes, we have Matt talking about some national forecasts, and he actually recaps the severe weather that we've seen over the country over the past couple of days, too.
All right, Jill, let's check in with Matt.
All right, you know, over the past several days, we had so many active severe storms producing damaging winds and tornadoes. I want to show you the 72-hour storm reports. And of course, the storm is originated in parts of Texas, and that's where we saw an outbreak of severe weather. All these little white icons indicating some wind reports, the red icons indicating tornado reports. So that was just day one. And of course, day two, it made its way into our area in parts of Mississippi and Alabama, and where most of the wind reports and tornadoes were in Mississippi. Of course, east of New Orleans, we had that estimated at least EF3 tornado caused all that damage. And then here locally, just a little bit of wind reports. Of course, we had that small tornado report in parts of East Bibb into Shelby County. And then the day three, not nearly as severe, mainly some hail and some wind reports as you go up across East Tennessee and the Carolinas up towards West Virginia. So overall, when you add up all the storm reports, 81 tornado reports, 143 wind reports, and 40 reports of large hail. So pretty impressive. Of course, it is March and April, not completely unusual to see that. Let's talk about tomorrow. If you're going out traveling across the country, it's pretty quiet. You see green, not expecting much in the way of delays, just some minor delays possible parts of the Great Lakes and maybe the Northeast, little disturbances producing some showers there. And that's pretty much it. Most of it is pretty much moving out of the Northeast tomorrow morning. So just showers, a wintry mix possible for Maine, and snow as you go up towards Canada as an upper level low spins away. And then for Friday, another disturbance moving in from near Minnesota towards Minneapolis, moving towards parts of the Indiana, Illinois. So it could produce some morning snow showers and then eventually some rain in parts of Ohio, Indiana, and those spots towards Kentucky. So here's the overall setup with your future radar tomorrow. There's that cold front making its way towards the south and east. So a little unsettled up across the Great Lakes, but pretty quiet across the southeast, the central United States, pretty quiet, lots of sunshine. Even as you go towards the west coast, looking pretty dry. And look at the temperatures. We're starting to see some warmer air move in. We're in the 70s and 80s in Texas. Look at Phoenix. Feeling like summer there. Same in Vegas. They're in the 90s there. And if you want some cooler temperatures, of course, got to go up towards the north and east where highs are going to be in the 40s and 50s. Near 60 degrees in New York City, 60 degrees in Atlanta, and 70s in Florida.
All right, Matt, and I do want to point out we still have some of those river flood warnings that are happening. One of the spots where we're seeing some of the higher flood levels along the Warrior River, Oliver Lock and Dam, we have reached crest level, but I do want to mention if you have camps there in places like Akron and Brush Creek, areas to the south around Roebuck Landing, you can see there the crest expected to happen tomorrow around Selden, Lock and Dam, 97.9 feet. That's going to put that close to 8 feet above flood stage, but we've seen a lot of flooding, and the flooding continues along the Tom Digby River down into Demopolis. So still a lot of waterways at capacity with all the rain that we had on Tuesday. And as Jill noted a few moments ago, we're going to be talking about a system that can move in around this time Thursday next week. We'll have more on that coming up as we continue right here. You are watching WBRC First Alert Weather Extra.
What's next? Like your next appointment. It's the same with weather. That's why we're on your side with the next big thing, the next 24, and the next 60. Knowing what's next days, hours, or minutes away. This is why we First Alert. I think we're done here. Hey, all right there.
When we declare First Alert Weather Day, it's all hands on deck. We're on your side and in your hand with the First Alert Weather app. While Wes and the rest of the team track changes moment to moment, the app keeps you prepared and safe with video and alerts for your neighborhood. And if the power goes out, no worries. You can stream us anywhere. It's easy and it's always on. Stay ahead of Alabama weather. Just scan and tap and have the First Alert weather app. This is why we First Alert.
I hear from people all the time with questions about healthcare, their insurance, and the safety of certain treatments. I'm Morgan Hightower, and I investigate these stories because if I were being taken advantage of, or if my family couldn't get the help they needed, I would want to know how to take action. That's why WBRC Fox 6 News investigates. We're on your side, getting answers, keeping you informed and safe. Contact us when you need a team on your side.
Getting live breaking news and local updates has never been easier. That's because we're on your side with the WBRC streaming app. Need updates between newscasts? You can catch up quick here. And when we're live on TV, we're live here too, giving you more ways to get caught up with everything happening where you live. Plus, exclusive videos from your First Alert weather team. It's easy to use and it's free. Just search WBRC on your Roku, Amazon Fire, or Apple TV. WBRC Fox 6 News is on your side.
Get First Alert weather and breaking news. Follow us on Facebook. Search at WBRC News.
Well, not too bad of a forecast here over the next few days, other than some of those chilly temperatures, but to be expected here for late March and early April. We have a disturbance that's going to move in here. It's actually some trailing upper level energy from that system on Tuesday. It's been quite the powerful storm system across the country. It's going to bring some clouds. We get another reinforcing surge of cooler air. That's why Saturday night and Sunday, it's even colder there by early Sunday morning. But then the temperatures quickly modify. Notice by Wednesday of next week, low 80s, and then next Thursday, that next system is going to bring the next best chance of rain area-wide across Alabama. Watching late tonight, notice we get some more clouds and a couple of showers may try to develop with the air being so dry. Just not confident we're going to see much out of this, but just giving you that first alert in case you notice in the morning, say, wait a minute, I think I just saw a raindrop on the windshield. Could be a couple of showers early in the day. Notice how the winds here change direction. See how we have more of a southwest breeze and then more of a breeze out of the northwest. That's that next little surge of cool air. It's going to settle in here and basically keep the temperatures in check over the next few days. Let's walk you through that Friday forecast. If we do see a shower, we're talking early in the morning, 4 or 5 in the morning. After that, other than some clouds in the mix, it will be a tad cooler tomorrow, so you may need the long sleeves a bit later in the day, especially in the shade, as those clouds may be around through late morning, and then we'll have a better supply of sunshine at sunset time around 7:02. Looking at the weekend, though, lots of sun for Saturday and Sunday. I mentioned earlier, make sure this is that time of the year. It feels cool out there. You may not be thinking about sunburn, but the sun rays are more direct, grow increasingly direct over the coming weeks quickly, and it does not take long at all to develop sunburn. So make sure you have proper sun protection. This weekend, we're doing a little yard work out there. I think the winds settle down on Saturday and Sunday, and it's going to be a lot calmer, and that's going to be another contributing factor to it being much colder Sunday morning. Notice early in the day we have the low 30s. Not every location will drop cold enough for frost to develop, but I think areas to the north and to the east there could be a light freeze in some of those zones. So play it safe, protect those plants for late Saturday night and early Sunday morning. Make sure any sensitive vegetation is protected from harmful cold, because that is going to be one of the stories again for this weekend. But lots of sunny weather each day that will help out with those comfort levels. And notice the big warm up. It doesn't take long there. We're back to 82 by Wednesday afternoon. And then we're going to be watching. Yesterday we were thinking Wednesday we might see the next best chance of rain, but we've pushed that on back into the Wednesday, Thursday time frame, watching a system here, and it's that time of the year. Could bring a risk of some strong storms. We're just giving you that first alert. Want to bring Jill back in right now. Jill, we've been analyzing some of the new long-range data on that system next week. What are we seeing right now?
Well, they certainly are in better agreement regarding the timing. So as you were mentioning, it looks like very late. Of course, horrible timing, right? It's like late at night when we're trying to sleep. into the very early morning hours of Thursday. Now, it sounds awful because of, you're trying to sleep, but maybe that could save us and prevent enough time for it to become very unstable outside. So there's pluses to minuses to everything. So again, we'll be watching. Again, the timing still could change, of course. We're so far out. But again, we're seeing some agreement. It looks early on the 31st. Can you believe it's almost April? So we'll be watching that system. But certainly when you see those deep red colors, that's some heavy rain. So that's foremost going to be our concern going into next week with that system coming off of a very wet previous week. Again, we'll have to watch out for flooding. And then we wait and see, do we have enough wind shear, and especially do we have enough instability matching up with that wind shear for that greater severe threat? So again, we're seeing those winds coming in from the southeast, the winds aloft coming in from the southwest. We get some turning with height, but then the instability, it's not very impressive. It's there. It reminds me a little bit of the setup we had, a few days ago. But again, we're going to be watching this closely. Again, a lot can change between now and then. Something to keep a watch on. Certainly could be some strong wind gusts with this system. There could be a low-end tornado threat. But I think, again, that more widespread impact could be due to just heavy rainfall. Now, the next beyond the 7-day, we're talking about 8 to 14 days out. Looks to trend a little wetter, but also trending a little bit cooler than normal as well. I've seen a lot of systems coming in from the north and not a lot building up from the south. So that could be a good thing in terms of maybe a lower threat for severe weather as we go into April. We certainly can hope, Wes, that things will kind of calm down a little bit, but it just does this stuff, It cools down for a little bit, then we moisten up, and then here comes the storm system, and get a little break, and here we go again, right?
Yeah, exactly. And, based on the data you were showing right there, Jill, this might be, as you were saying, if the data doesn't change with that instability sliding to the south, we may see more of a marginal to slight risk. I think we're going to see a risk over parts of our state at this stage, but as you noted, like the last system, that you may end up with a lot of wind shear. Could be a situation where you end up with a lot of short fuse type warnings. Yeah,
damaging wind gusts. I mean, we've seen that with the last system. I mean, just having all that strong winds not too far up above the surface, that can be transported down. But again, we're going to be focusing hard on that flooding threat. That becomes a big concern, and don't want folks to forget about it.
Exactly. And just to state again, we had the fatality in Birmingham last week with the flooding in the city. And then the tragic story out of Tuscaloosa, 3 people found inside of a vehicle after the flood waters receded. And flooding, it's one of those underrated killers.
Yeah, I mean, it's second to top. So in the United States, more people die from, heat-related illnesses, the heat, and second in line is flash flooding. Tornadoes is way down there on the list.
Yeah, it's so sudden. It just strikes, and then, for a lot of folks, we're in panic mode. What do we do at that time?
Yeah.
The waters, it just changes like that. And seeing some of the flood scenes around the Birmingham area the past couple of years, I remember in Pelham, back in the fall, we had that one event, just areas you think can't flood, can flood. And it can really surprise you.
Yep, just got to be prepared and try and adjust your travel plans if you can.
All right, Jill. Well, we're going to be watching next week closely as we analyze the setup there. Of course, plenty more. We'll keep you posted here on First Alert Weather Extra as well. It's kind of tricky here. You look at the temperatures over the next several days when you're in the 60s like this. If the sun's out, it's comfortable. So trying to figure out what to wear. Well, it never hurts just to throw the long sleeve pullover in the car just in case, because we are going to have some chilly conditions at times. In fact, a little bit cooler for tomorrow afternoon. Mickey's got the out the door what to wear forecast. Bus stop forecast, that's coming up next, and another check on the 7-day as we continue. Stay tuned.
Getting live breaking news and local updates has never been easier. That's because we're on your side with the WBRC streaming app. Just search WBRC on your Roku, Amazon Fire, or Apple TV. WBRC Fox 6 News is on your side.
The Next Big Thing gives you a heads up days ahead of the next big storm system. The Next 24 gives you the most accurate and updated look at tomorrow. And the Next 60 gives you a 60-minute advantage against Mother Nature. Knowing what's next, days, hours, or minutes away, this is why we First Alert.
Every morning on Good Day Alabama, we know the news that matters the most to you is the news that hits closest to home.
And we know that to tell the best story means going to where the story is. That's why having more reporters in more places is so essential.
Giving you more local stories that impact your family, your school,
and your safety.
On air, online, and on the app.
That's the advantage of having the most reporters on your side. That's the advantage of Good Day Alabama.
Live local traffic and road conditions. Just another reason to add the free First Alert Weather app to your mobile device. Search WBRC in your app store.
Get First Alert Weather and breaking news. Follow us on Facebook. Search at WBRC News.
I get calls all the time from folks concerned about their safety where they live, at their job, even at their child's school. I'm Jonathan Hardison, and I investigate stories like these because if something was going on in my neighborhood or at my child's school, I would want to know. That's why WBRC Fox 6 News investigates. We're on your side getting you answers, keeping you informed and safe. Contact us when you need a team on your side.
The First Alert Weather app can alert you wherever you are. You can customize your location in the settings and stay ahead of Alabama's weather. This is why we First Alert.
Hey, we're getting used to this sunrise time, you know, after the big time change, but I just want to let you know tomorrow we get up, or the sun gets up, I should say. I'm up way before this. 6:44 in the morning, but look at this. In April and May, the sunrise times, it goes to 6:05. And then 5:40 in the morning. That's a big old long day on May the 25th. So just putting everything in perspective. Let's talk about tomorrow. What should you wear? Well, it's going to be a little chilly when you head out the door, so a jacket's probably a good idea. Temperature readings, at least temporarily, in the mid-40s. We've got a 10% chance of those sprinkles we've been talking about. But we get into tomorrow afternoon, you need the shades because it's looking pretty nice. Temperature readings at noontime tomorrow at 58 degrees and warming up to about 64 degrees for a high. Hey, we got some sports to talk about. UAB baseball. It is tomorrow at 6 p.m. as the Blazers take on Tennessee at Young Memorial Field. We've got 6 p.m. First pitch, 61 degrees, and then it cools off into the 50s, so a jacket, something like that, going to keep you okay. And then on Saturday, we've got UAB taking on Tennessee again. This is the first pitch at 2 p.m., a little bit warmer. I think you can get along with a short sleeve shirt, maybe a jacket if you're cold-natured, but pretty good looking day for baseball or just about anything you want to do outside.
All right there, Mickey, and we're going to talk a bit more about the weekend here coming up on the news at 9, 9:30, and 10 tonight, and watching next week for the next big chance of rain. Again, could be a couple sprinkles in the morning, some frost early on Sunday, and that's what we're tracking in your First Alert 7-day forecast. We'll see you back on WBRC tonight. Don't miss it, 9, 9:30, and 10. We'll have updates.